Hello everyone. My brand analysis presentation is going to be on Southwest Airlines. I was kind of inspired to talk about an airline after hearing what had happened with United, and I know Mecca kind of talked about this in her brand in the news presentation, so I figured it would be fun to look at another brand in this space. So that is what we are going to do. A couple quick facts on Southwest Airlines. It is the world's largest low-cost carrier. It is headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and as of October 2016, the company employs more than 53,000 people, and it services to 101 U.S. destinations with service to 8 additional countries. Southwest Airlines uses only Boeing 737s, making them the largest operator of these planes, with over 700 of them in service. And each one of these planes takes an average of 6 flights per day. So a little history on the company. On March 16th, 1967, Air Southwest Company, which is what they used to call themselves, was incorporated by Roland King, who was an entrepreneur, and Herb Kelleher, who was a lawyer. And they came across the idea of starting a low-cost airline between San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston. Some of the bigger players in this industry tried to ground Air Southwest Company by filing legal suits against them. It was not until 1971 that the airline actually began scheduled flights from Dallas Love Field Airport after the U.S. Supreme Court allowed Air Southwest to continue its services with no penalties. So this is the same year the organization adopted its new name, which they still have today, Southwest Airlines. And the expansion of flights started in 1975 to cities throughout Texas, and they began flying to neighboring states starting in 1978. It was not until 1990 until they started service to the east and southeast parts of the U.S. The company's purpose, according to their website, is to connect people to what's important in their lives through friendly, reliable, and low-cost air travel. Their vision is to become the world's most loved, most flown, and most profitable airline. Their values are to work the Southwest way, which includes safety and reliability, friendly customer service, low costs, and also to live the Southwest way, which means having a warrior spirit, servant's heart, and a fun-loving attitude. The mission of Southwest Airlines is dedication to the highest quality of customer service, delivered with a sense of warmth, friendliness, individual pride, and company spirit. I thought this would be a fun slide to add in. This is a handful of advertising slogans they've used throughout the years, so they kind of all have funny flying air puns, I guess. So a few would be love is still our field, there's somebody else up there who loves you, you're now free to move about the country, the low fare airline, grab your bag, it's on, welcome aboard, and just plain smart, which kind of has a funny story behind it that I'll tell you. So in March of 1992, Southwest had just started using this motto, and Stevens Aviation, which uses the motto plain smart, informed Southwest that they were infringing on its trademark. But instead of filing a lawsuit, the CEOs for both companies decided to have an arm wrestling match. And this match was held at the Dallas Sportatorium, which has since been demolished, but at one time it was a famed wrestling facility. And the two CEOs were set to wrestle the best 2 out of 3 rounds, and the loser of each round was required to pay $5,000 to the charity of his choice, with the winner gaining use of the trademark. So there were promo videos made and shared among employees as video press releases, and there was footage of the actual match kind of used for the same purpose. So Herb Kelleher lost the match for Southwest, with Stevens Aviation's CEO Kurt Herwald winning the rights to the phrase, but Herwald immediately granted the use just plain smart to Southwest Airlines, which allowed both companies use of the trademark, and essentially they just donated $15,000 to charity, and they both got a lot of good publicity for it. So the differentiation of Southwest Airlines in comparison to some of its competitors, their boarding style is something that's very different. They have open seating, so you sit based on your boarding spot. So rather than your ticket saying your seat, 28A, um, you'll you'll say like boarding position A20, and that would put you towards the front of the first group. So that means you're on the plane first and you get to choose your seat. So that's definitely a different style than other airlines. You can also check 2 bags free of charge, which checking bags has become incredibly expensive for airlines. So that's definitely a perk in my eyes. I fly Southwest quite often. They are known to be the pioneer of low cost travel in the industry. They have a rewards program, which I'm going to touch on a little bit more in depth later, but this includes a partnership with Chase Credit Card. They have in flight entertainment, which, like I just said, I fly Southwest a lot, so I'm an avid user of this. All their planes have free Wi Fi, and you're able to purchase a higher level Wi Fi where you're able to search all of the internet, but using the free Wi Fi, you can get on the Southwest website and they have access to some live TV and old episodes of a handful of shows, and you can also purchase movies through this page. I'm definitely guilty of watching a lot of chopped reruns on these flights, so that's a good perk. And something different about Southwest Airlines is they are the official commercial airline of the Honor Flight Network, which Honor flights are dedicated to bringing aging and ailing veterans to visit the national monuments devoted to the wars in which they served in Washington, D.C. So that's something really unique that they do. So these are some of the key competitors for Southwest Airlines: United, Delta, Frontier, Spirit, JetBlue. These are all commercial airlines in the United States, and some of these fly internationally, but these are definitely the big names, and these are the top rated airlines. So these would definitely be who Southwest should be looking out for. So the SWOT. So some strengths. I've mentioned a handful of times that they're the biggest low cost airline in the industry. So that's definitely one of the strengths is it's pretty cheap. Well, as cheap as it can be to fly on Southwest. They have a really strong safety record. They haven't had any big mishaps in their past, so that's always comforting. And their staff is notoriously fun and friendly on airlines, and they're known to hire people for their personality. So you can see my arm wrestling story again if you don't believe that they are fun and friendly. And their rewards program is a big strength. So by becoming a Southwest Rapid Rewards member, you earn points for every dollar you spend on Southwest flights and with the airline's hotel, car, rental, and retail partners. And if you have one of the Southwest Rapid Rewards credit cards that is from Chase Visa, you can earn additional points on Southwest and partner purchases by making like just your everyday purchases. So I know my parents have one. We fly a ton, so it's definitely beneficial. I've taken a few what I like to call free flights, but my parents had to spend a lot to get them. So weaknesses, they mainly travel with the US, within the US, excuse me, and they only have one class of seating offered. They don't have first class or business class. Like I said, it's open seating, so they do have business select boarding, so business class people can get on the plane earlier and choose their seats first, but it's still no first class. And they have limited space to carry freight and cargo. Some of the opportunities is they could definitely expand to international travel. Um, that could definitely broaden their horizons a little bit and get people more interested. There's always new technology within aviation, so they have that. They can expand their services to have business or first class. That might change up some of the things that make them different than the other airlines, but it's definitely something to explore. And there's always room for perks within their airline. They were actually the first to offer senior discounts and ticketless travel, but I'm sure there's tons of other perks they could explore to offer to customers. And some other threats could be the lack of seat assignments. The economy is always affecting travel. Like I said, traveling is getting so expensive, so people aren't traveling quite as much. There's a lot of government regulations when it comes to traveling. I mean, just at airport security alone, it can be kind of a pain to travel. And like I said, the economy is affecting travel, so airline costs are increasing annually. Here are my sources. I'll be sure to post my questions on the discussion board. I find that that's easier to just read them, so I will do that, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you guys so much for listening.